Hey, hello Avonni subscribers. Today I'm going to show you how to build an enhanced related list using the Avonni Dynamic Components. So when I'm talking about related list, I'm talking about related list you can find on Salesforce on a specific record page. For example, on this page, account page, I have the standard default Salesforce related list. But if you like to make them more visual appealing and also making them more interactive, more powerful, I'd like to show you how to easily build your own related list using no code and using the Avonni Dynamic Component. For this example, I'm going to create my custom enhanced related list for the account object. Let me show you how. First, make sure to install the Avonni Dynamic Component package. You can find a link in the video description below. When it's installed, you can launch the Avonni Components app from the app launcher. This is the home page to create your Avonni Dynamic component, and those components can then be placed on any Lightning pages anywhere on your Salesforce. Very powerful. Let me show you how to create our enhanced related list. Let's create new. Let's name it create. So this is the builder where I can easily build any type of custom solution with no code. How I can do that? By using all the Avonni components available from there on the left side. So you will find more than hundreds of components available, 100 components available actually. The first thing I need to do, because as I said, this is a related list I'd like to place on an account page. So this dynamic component needs to know the context where it will operate. And for that, I need to go on the settings icon to select a target page object. And that's really important because by selecting account object, the dynamic component will know the context where it needs to operate. Okay, great. Let's start by dragging a card element for the related list. And let's say you want to display a list of contacts. So let's pick up an icon right there. So the card, it will like our main container for our related list. And now we can customize the style of the card. So we can say, oh, let's select a background color, border size 1 pixel, and let's play with the border, radius 15 pixel. And again, you can tweak the style if you like to make it more SLDS2, look and feel. You can play with some styling settings to make it exactly like SLDS2. So, okay, size. And then for the header, okay, 16 or maybe 18 pixel. Okay. So next, let's put some content inside the card. For that, let's drag a data table inside the card. And now, once you drag the data table, you can create your query to connect your Salesforce data with the data table. So create a query, create query. Here, let's say I like to display contact. So from the contact object, you can type for an object. Here, I need to filter the contacts. I don't want to display all the contacts coming from my Salesforce. I only need to display the contact that are linked to the current account page. So for that, I will say filter by the account ID is equal the values. So it's the dynamic value of the current account ID. So here it will be mapped. And then from the map, you will select the global variable $sign component and record ID. And because at first we set up a target page name, this is why it's important to set up that at first. Save. So the query is created on the data table. Now all I need to do is really to add columns. So what you'd like to display on the data table, let's say I'd like to display the full name of the contact, and let's say linkified information. If you like to make it editable, you can. Filterable, searchable. This is where it's very interesting because you can really make a fully working enhanced data table as a related list. Let's say now doing the same thing for other fields like email type. If you like to make it editable, that's correct. That's possible. Let's say phone, business phone. That would be the phone type. Make it editable as well. Okay. Now, if you're making some fields editable within the data table, it's really, really important to create an interaction to make sure the information would be saved on Salesforce when users are editing the information. So for that, you go on the interaction tab right there, and then on save, you will create an interaction. So it will fire an interaction when users are saving the information using the inline edit. So save, and you will select the interaction update records. This one, we need the update records. That's it. Save. So now the information will be saved automatically on Salesforce. Let's get back again on the properties. Now let's say I want to add a button on each row, and this button, I want to trigger an interaction to open a flow. So to edit more information about the contact. So here I will say add a column, and the type of the column will be like button or button icon. Let's name it button, and we can say edit, for example. You can add an icon if you want, save. So now I have my edit button. You can also fine tune, the size of the column. You can go back on the columns, properties, and scroll down, advanced option, fixed width, let's say 150 pixel. You can even make it smaller, 80. Okay, perfect. Now, button is created. You need, again, same thing. You need to fire an interaction. What will happen when you press the edit button? So interaction, it's a raw action click. Add raw action click, edit. And now, as I said just before, I want to fire an interaction that will open a screen flow. I already created this screen flow. So I will select the type of interaction that will be open flow dialog. I want to open this flow as a model box. And here for the API name, just select the flow you like to open. So demo panel, it's this one. Now you need to pass the input variable. So you need to pass the record ID of the contact. So directly to the flow to display the related information. Here, that's my variable input. So again, that's really important. Input, that's the name of the text variable available for input I created on the flow. So you need to make sure you already have created on the flow, you like to open a text variable available as input, and that's why you will be able to select from there. So if you don't have any text variable or record variable created, you won't be able to make this work. And you need to make this first. So input, what's the value I'd like to pass to the flow? I'd like to pass the contact ID value. That's it. Close. And then we can say when this flow is finished, we want to refresh the queries, all queries or query of this data table to make sure it will, update the information with what you just done on the flow. Save. And that's it. I mean, I'm done with that, with the interaction. At any time, you can also preview what you'll do. So here you can say edit. You can even preview the flow you're trying to open. This is really excellent. Perfect. Let's get back to the edit now. As you can see, this can be improved. Why? Because on the card, the data table is not really flushed to the card. So we can select the card again and check this, expand to content fit. Now you will have a more polished look and feel regarding your related list. Again, doing a preview, that's the preview of the related list. You have a search engine, you have filters, you can really customize the data table the way you want. If you have to, add more fields as filters, if you like to, add more interaction, that's also possible. Okay, now let's do more advanced stuff. That's where it's becoming more interesting regarding the dynamic component. Let's say I like to be able for my users to select a different view type of my related list. For example, I'd like them to be able to see the contact as a table, but I want also to present the contact information as a list. That will be awesome. So first, what I'd like to do, I'd like to place like a button icon or a button menu that will give me option to change the view type. So here I'm thinking about dragging first a column directly inside the action box into the card. And here I will create a 2-column layout. So I will just create 2 columns, add some space between columns. So now I have like those 2 columns at the top of the card. And what I can do, I can say, okay, text, display text right there, and the text, let's say, okay, view as. Great. And now I like to put checkbox group right there. And this is where I will select my buttons. So here, okay, view as, let's name it table. The value will be table. Option B, let's replace option B like view as list. Value will be list. Okay, let's remove option C. We don't need option C. Label, I mean, you can leave that label name, but here for the variant, label hidden. Now for the value, that's important because here I want to define a default value when users are opening this related list. So value would be table. That will be the selected value by default. Okay, let's now fine tune the look and feel of this checkbox group. So here the type will be button. Okay, horizontal. Yes. And display as row. Perfect. Is multi-select? No, uncheck that because I don't want users to be able to select multiple views at the same time. And then I can select the column again, play with the vertical alignment to make this more appealing. Okay, so let's do a preview again. We have our two buttons, list and table. So now those buttons needs to be functional. So basically, first on the data table, I will set a component visibility rule that will say, okay, show me the data table only when the value coming from the input choice set, which is the checkbox group. So input choice set value is equal to table. Okay, so now if I'm clicking on table, it will be displayed. Okay, now next I need to have a list view. So for that, let's drag the Avonni list on the card, inside the card, same thing. And here, what I will do, you need to select the data source query. I already created the query on the data table, so I can reuse the exact same query. So here, get contact, that's my initial queries. And then I can fine tune the mapping or the look and feel of the list. For example, if you like to make items clickable, if you like to have a divider button, if you want to add maybe fields into additional fields like the birth date, the title, the phone number. Okay. And I mean, you can do a lot of things with that. You can customize the style as well. So if you like to play with the style and playing with the item label right there, font size 16, play with the color. There is a lot of things you can do, obviously. And then you can even fine tune this by adding an avatar. So I think I already have like a field that will display the image. So it's the picture URL field. So now I can see or mark images, which is awesome. And okay, so I can see some images. Let's say it's done for the list. Now, like I did for the data table, I need to set a component visibility rule. So I want to only display the list when the input choice set value is equal to list, which is, I mean, this one, the value, it's coming from this value. So make sure to keep the exact same syntax. So now let's do a test. Preview. Okay, table, list. Table, list. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Great. So this is obviously what I did. I just, created with clicks an enhanced related list very briefly. It's really to show you all the capabilities of the Avonni Dynamic Components and how you can really easily create any custom UI, functional UI, because you can do interaction with OpenFlow dialog, with a lot of things. So this is really powerful. So now, okay, I just created this enhanced related list. What's next? I need to activate this and to make this available for my users. So I need first to activate the component. And now I can go on the record page. And from there, edit page to open App Builder, related. You're typing Avonni. And now you select the component you'd like to display on the page, which is this one. Save. Let's get back live on the page. Now I have a fully working enhanced related list built within minutes using the Avonni Dynamic Component. And you have view as table, view as list. Everything is functional with the actual correct data from the record page. So this is what I'd like to show you today, how to build an enhanced related list using Avonni Dynamic Components. Within minutes, you can build a fully customizable list into your Salesforce. Let me know if you have any question. Feel free to drop your question in the comment section below, and also making sure to install the Avonni Dynamic Component package by using the link in the video description below.